course Introduction to Western Political Thought. My name is Mithilesh Kumar, and during this live session, you can ask any question related to this course and its content, and you can also share your feedback, comment, or suggestion about this course. So I'll be very happy to respond to them. I don't see any question on the Google spreadsheet, which was shared with you. And I'm sure on the discussion forum, you have been raising your doubts and it is resolved or responded to by the TAs. Those of you who are joining me through YouTube, you can also write your question on the YouTube. I'll respond to that as well. So, hi, Karthik. Good to see you. Can you hear
Good
me?
evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, hi. So, this is a live session. I think the basic question or concern I have discussed in my previous live session also. And those are there on the course portal. So you can see about exam pattern, assignment, and so on. But even then, if you have any question or you wish to share your experience, you are welcome. Karthik, what do you do?
I am a competitive exam preparation I'm doing, sir.
You are doing competitive exam. Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. So you are not doing it as part of your academic curriculum.
No, I just completed my graduation in 2023. Just 1 year in
Okay.
preparation. So
Acha. And
just
what was your subject of graduation?
engineering, electrical engineering.
Engineering. Oh, good. All right. Yeah.
So in the first lecture, I have a doubt on what is the difference between political science, political theory, and political philosophy?
Okay. A great question, Karthik. I think initial lecture discussed that. Political science is a very specialized discipline that examine or interpret or explain political event. So political science as an academic discipline deals with or engages with explaining political phenomena. For example, Indian politics, comparative politics, international relations or global politics, human rights theory, and so on and so forth. So political science is an academic discipline, let's say, which engages with the political question scientifically. It is a business of explaining or interpreting political issue. Now, the question about political theory and philosophy, is it? Yeah. So within political science, as a discipline, political theory is a sub-branch which provides certain concepts or ideas through which make sense of our political world. For example, in Indian politics, we say constitution or the rule of law, for equality, freedom of speech and expression, the idea of justice, and so on. So, political theory as a branch of political science gives us certain tool or concepts through which make sense of our political world, for example, state, sovereignty, rights, equality, justice, so on and so on. So that's political theory. Now, political philosophy is a bit connected to political theory. Much of the concepts or ideas through which we talk about or interpret politics comes from political philosophy, right? So philosophy has many branches. Political philosophy deals with, the larger question of how to lead a good life, how to create a good society, what are the markers of good society. So it's more broader and deals with certain fundamental questions of our existence. So philosophy has many branches, but political philosophy deals with the question of leading a good, dignified life. And to lead a good and dignified life, you need a good state or a good polity, and how to create that polity. So from Plato, Aristotle, whatever thinkers you have been introduced to, they are engaged with this larger question of life. That human being, as a human being, we want to lead a good life, but we can lead a good life only in a good polity. But how to create a good polity, which is accountable, which is really, which is limited, which is governed by the rule of law, and there is no like misuse of power or unaccountable power and so on and so forth. So these are the questions which political philosophers deal with. But that's the basic basic kind of demarcation of that works.
So can we say that political science is political theory is subset of political science, and inside the political science we can have political philosophy?
Yeah, political science is a branch, discipline of study. Within that, you have political theory and political philosophy. You can say that.
And
Yes.
this entire political thought was this entire political science. The thinkers, they were engineers from science background, medicine background. So can we say that this science background influenced or introduced the political thought into our society?
Karthik, that's a very significant question, right? What you are asking. This kind of disciplinary division that we see now was not there when these thinkers were thinking or reflecting about the world. For example, Aristotle is taught in political science, in sociology, and also in bioscience or geology. So, knowledge of any kind has scientific basis. Only in 19th century, 20th century, or in a sense modern world, we have created a rift between different branches of learning or knowledge. That's why you consider that science or engineering is fundamental or man, but let's say political science or economics is not that much scientific. But any knowledge, if it has a claim to be the knowledge, has some scientific basis. And political science, economics, sociology, they are all embedded in some epistemology or methodology, which is very scientific. Of course, that method would be different from, say, physics or engineering. But the epistemology or the making of knowledge or truth claim has to have some scientific basis. And I think I have introduced in Plato or Aristotle how in their academia the knowledge of mathematics was considered essential to study politics. So you need to have a kind of broader understanding. But I certainly agree with you. Many of the thinkers that we have discussed come from a background which is not in today's understanding, social science or arts or humanities kind of thing. These are very, very modern disciplinary division of various branches of learning.
And what is the difference between ontological existence? In lecture 2, you discussed about that one, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, Ontology is, essence of something, essence of being. So
Mm.
maybe a stone or any other object would be there. But as a human, we make sense of it through some concepts, through perceptions, right? So even if you don't call a stone, it would exist, or a human being would exist. But naming, and through naming, we try to understand its character, and on that basis, we try to build some theory or some understanding. That's the
Yeah.
task of epistemology. So all knowledge through certain methods or concepts or approach produce some knowledge about certain object of nature. Physics will do some different kind of study. Social science will do different. Within social science, politics, economics, they study some objects. And on that basis, we produce some knowledge about that object. But even without producing those knowledge, those objects would study in the nature. So ontology is basically a phenomena which is there, but we know about that phenomena by using certain methodology, certain concepts, certain approach that we call epistemology. So hope that answer, Karthik. Good. That's a very critical question.
Yeah, I just interested in history of all the thinkers and came to
Okay.
know that at earlier times monarch versus church was going
Hmm.
on. That, for example, religionism,
Hmm.
like in England, Hobbesian times, um,
Hmm.
the divide between Catholic and Roman, sorry, Catholic and another group came.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, After that Hobbes time, monarch versus parliament came in French Revolution in Rousseau time.
Hmm.
So,
Rousseau time, yes.
so how this history plays a important role. For example, in Machiavelli also, the the Italy need to be re-emerged as a powerful state. So he suggested the
Hmm.
king has to do anything for achieving the ends. So like that,
Hmm.
how we can define good administration in a society? We need a military might or a free political thought like Plato time, where he preached about all citizens need to be free. Um, like in Aristotle time, they have slaves. So, which ideology can we use in current situation so that we can have a good administrative system?
Yeah, very tough again. There are too many aspects to your question. But the historical part first. So, the political thought or theory or political science, the question that you have started, is a result of many inquiries over a period of time. And all these inquiries were conducted in a particular context. So, as you have mentioned, Machiavelli, Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, we are developing certain thought or ideas which become the basis of, let's say, modern state or government today, right? So Lockean idea or Hobbesian idea, or even Machiavelli in international relation or diplomacy, you find many people referring to his work. So these thinkers were responding to their time. So I think I have discussed about how to study political thought. And there I have discussed this Cambridge school, ideas in a context. So all the ideas, all the thought can be better examined or understood in their context. If we are fascinated to understand and that thought, that idea, that thinker, that's what we do in political thought. Your second question, which is like what Plato was talking about, a philosopher king, or maybe Aristotle was talking about
Slaves, yeah.
ruling and being ruled in turn, where citizenship is not given to everyone, but it was limited only to the male member of who are not slave and children or women. So they were excluded from his notion of citizenship, and the quality was very small. So certain ideas like citizenship or good polity, how to differentiate different kind of polity, those ideas we can derive from Aristotle. But can we apply that in modern time? One has to really think about that, because modern polity is substantially different from Plato, Aristotle, even Machiavelli, Hobbes time. Right? We have, as a human society, as a human civilization, evolved and developed, and also facing different kind of situation. So the question for us is not just to utilize the resources, natural resources, or create a good quality, but the question that we are now dealing with in theory and thought also, how to talk about non-human. So in much of the political thought, political theory, we have made the human species as the center. Now that we are facing the climate change or ecological crisis, where the human being have developed the capacity to alter the whole planetary balance. So should we evolve our thought accordingly? So the 21st century question or challenge is very different from the challenge or the question which Locke was responding to or Hobbes was responding to. But of course, idea of participation, accountable government, constitutional government, or limited government matters, because even today, you know, as a citizen, as a group of citizens, we can participate. But we know in comparison to state or government, the citizens' collective strength is limited in terms of dealing with bigger challenges like climate crisis or
So
terrorism.
in short, we
Yes.
can in short we can say that earlier we fight with humans to humans in small hunter-gatherer groups. Then we became a nation. We fought between kingdoms, and the different ideologies came. Then religion came. Then colonization came. Now we are in a situation where we know the risk if we fight with another nation, but now we are collectively fighting against environment.
Of course, that is there, but also the struggle or the competition between or among nations are not absent today. So you see what is happening between Russia and Ukraine, or Israel, or Palestine, or even Lebanon. What are the recent development? It characterizes that competition between the individual and also between the states have not become irrelevant. They are there. But
Instead of
as
direct,
a
we can say
thinker,
we have
yeah, as a
indirect.
thinker, yes. So as a society, as a group of nation, we are dealing with those issues as well. But I'm just saying more than that, or in addition to that, what we are facing today is larger planetary kind of crisis to ecological change or overexploitation or the idea of sustainability, which is now being a kind of guidebook for all the branches of learning, including the engineering. So the situation is different. So political theory or thought, those who are involved in those discipline today will be addressing different kind of question. Of course, the prime primary ideas like justice or to create a just society. So just society is not for the human being but also for the non-human being. So you may come across many nations where they recognize the rights of mountain or rights of rivers or even the rights of forest, those who cannot speak for themselves, but as a human being we recognize that they have right. And people are becoming more and more conscious and aware about the rights of non-human species also. Yeah.
So as the time progresses, many new idea thinkers are coming, but they are
Yes.
accumulating their previous generation ideas as well or modifying those. So in a short, we can
Karthik,
say that
yeah, just
yeah.
just a minute. There is someone on the. We have this interaction. It's wonderful to have this very significant question. But hi, Bharati. Bharati is there on YouTube. And those of you who have joined late or using YouTube for this live session, you can type your question, comment, or share your experience there. I'll be very happy to respond to them. And I encourage all of you to use our discussion forum on the course portal to to clarify your thoughts and share any ideas. So Karthik, we got another question from Pooja Singh, and maybe I'll come back to you after that. Uh, Pooja is hi Pooja. I have completed my master's in political science, joined this course to get in touch with you, as MPhil is now discontinued by NEP, or to bridge the gap we face in research as a subject. So Pooja, glad to hear that. And this question is important that MPhil, basically Pooja's question is about since the MPhil is discontinued, how to bridge the gap between, let's say, after you complete the master and you want to do a PhD. I hope that's the concern. So it's not exactly related to our course, but since it's relevant, I'd like to address that. So, Pooja, I think in MPhil, what we used to do was it was expected that it's mostly secondary, based on secondary sources. So, I'm not sure about all the university. In the most of the universities, usual expectation from an MPhil program is to read existing literature, and on that basis, you write your dissertation. Now, in much of the master programs, including in IIT, we have dissertation as a part of master's program itself, where you engage with the literature, policy documents, or even partly field work to write your dissertation. So, in many university, I'm sure a component related to research methodology or even dissertation is there, and that's a kind of preparatory for your further research if you wish to pursue, that is the PhD. And during the PhD program, if you get into any PhD program, you can certainly think of clearing UGC NET or JRF before going for a PhD. But even as a self-sponsored or self-financed PhD program, once you enter a PhD program, you start the coursework, and after the coursework, when you write your research proposal, much of the training or the skill uh, that you learn will help you to bridge that gap, which you think is result of discontinuing the MPhil program. I hope that answered your question, Pooja. All right. So we have one more question from Bharati. Bharati is saying, I learned so many things in political theory through this course and was happy also to learn. But as I was not notified of my assignments, so it gets late and I'm not being able to complete all assignments. So, Bharti, if you have registered for the exam, and even if you have missed some assignment, now I think it would be too difficult because to earn a certificate, you need to have some marks. I think about at least 10 out of 25 from your assignment. So even if you have submitted 3-4 assignments, so for the grading purpose, we will be including best 8 assignment of the 12. But even if you say have submitted 5 or 6 or even 3 and 4, where you can get the necessary requisite or the minimum from the assignment, then I'll suggest you to go for writing the final exam and do better. But I'm sorry to hear that you were not notified about the assignment. But the regular announcement are made on the course portal. I hope Karthik can confirm that regarding the assignment. Karthik,
Yeah,
do
yes,
you
sir.
think it is made? Yeah. So you
We have
visit the
regular
portal
emails
and
and also in the course
yeah,
portal also there.
all right. So yeah, Bharti, that's Bharti. You can continue. I suggest. So Pooja is asking in sir in Delhi University dissertation is not a part of master's subject. So now we find it difficult to understand the skill set we need to have and streamline the area of interest. Yeah, so Pooja, I think you have very specific question about Delhi University. So even in your master, I guess once you enter in the second year onwards, you do some specialized kind of courses. And as a research student, you are supposed to do those courses because those are elective or optional and not the core courses or essential courses. So through those elective courses, you develop certain specialization or certain deeper understanding of sub branches of political science. Now, once you get into the PhD program, then you further streamline. So even if you have the broader understanding of political science with deeper understanding of some of its branches, I think arriving at a particular research question or research problem is something which you will learn once you start the PhD program. So I think you should continue with what you have done in the master, in particular those papers which you did as an elective. And within those papers, you update yourself with the recent research works. And how to do that? Recent books, articles, you read them, consult with your instructor, and once you get updated about the recent debate, recent research work, from there you arrive at your particular research problem which you can pursue in your PhD. So reading more and more in those branches or sub branches of political science which you did as an optional will help you to overcome some of these issues. I hope that answer. Okay. Bharti is asking, so next year, Bharti, this course will be offered again during the same period of July to November. You can certainly enroll and register. All right, another question, JC. If someone has missed the initial 4 assignments and it is attempting from the 5th assignment, is it enough? So from the 5th, if you have missed 4 assignment and from 5th onwards till 12th week's assignment you submit, that's good enough, JC. So we are including only the best 8 assignment for the final assessment. So even if you have missed 1, 2, 3, or even 4, and even more than that, only requirement is that you have to have at least 10 marks out of 25 from the assignment to get a certificate. So that's perfectly okay if you have missed few assignments. So you should, you should go ahead with the final exam. Karthik, I can come back to you now. Sorry, I stopped you because there were lots of questions on the YouTube. So yeah.
So in the previous question, we were discussing about the good administration in the current time.
Yeah.
So in the previous lecture, I heard that Plato from Athens and Sparta. Uh, Athens people were free, and there were more cultural activities also there. But in Sparta was a military meteoritic
Mhm.
society.
Mhm.
In terms of comparing with the current world, we can say that Athens was more peaceful and enjoyable. But in the practical situation, Athens was defeated by Sparta. So, how we can able to say that uh, Athens had a best administrative system, or Sparta had a
Mm.
best administrative?
Very difficult question. One, it is a historical question, and I have very
Hmm.
limited understanding of the life polity in Sparta or Athens. What we know about these polities through the writings of Plato and Aristotle as they reflect on it. So the actual condition of Sparta and Athens we do not know. Now the question is very fundamental in political thought or political philosophy, how to create a good polity. And basically, why to create a good polity? Because we want to lead a life which is a good life. Eudaimania, right? Or happy life. All want. So Plato wanted it in his times, but we also wanted it in our time, right? So this concern for leading a good, dignified life, or to realize your own skills, develop your own personality or character, is something which we all want, but we can have it only in a good quality. For example, life in US or in India or in sub-Saharan Africa or in Israel or Palestine or in Myanmar or Bangladesh or Afghanistan will differ because the quality that govern these society are different. So the role of administration or good administration do play a major role in the kind of life citizens enjoy. So there is we all have stake in good administration, good polity, good government. How to do it in modern world? We have developed the mechanism of democracy. So you can further, since you are from the engineering background, and I am very happy to hear all these questions. Read the recent reports, writings on democracy, democratic backsliding, or democratic decline. Democracy is so there is always these two sides. One who enjoy the power or exercise the power, which we call ruling class or governing class, or in Plato, philosopher king kind of thing, right? And mm, power is exercised over whom? That's the governed class or ruled class. Democracy is a mechanism through which we have ensured that power is accountable to the people. But in practical world, this is not always the case. Those who exercise the power think that they have the kind of right without being accountable. So modern framework of governance or government is very different, where military strength is necessary. But with military strength comes the idea of consent of the people. Right? Consent is like in democratic election in a free and fair manner periodically. So you get the right to rule. You have the right to rule only when we give you the consent, and we will ensure whether you continue to rule in the next round of election. Right? Much of the elections that are happening are manipulated money power, muscle power, misinformation, disinformation, polarization, propaganda, so on and so. And citizens not really understand what is at stake. And that's the kind of challenge for the modern government, or electing a government which is accountable to the people, which exercise the power in accordance with the rule of law. So we have a very different kind of challenge, and the scale of challenge is very different from, let's say, Spartan or Athens time. They were they were thinking
Yeah.
about, more leisure life, reflective life, and which kind of polity give you more leisure life. And those
If
polity
you
life,
see,
and they had, majority of population slaves without having right to participate in the public life of the community. But we have the state today where everyone, no matter what is his or her socio-economic condition, equal right to participate, the right to equality, which is now given. But in Plato, Aristotle, even in later thinkers' time, society was considered as a hierarchy where some are capable of governing, rest of them should just do the menial job, right? But here today we have a fundamentally different moral order, moral understanding of human being, where we not just consider all men, but men and women are also equal and should get equal participation in the public affair. So now the responsibility is with everyone, but whether we exercise that appropriately or not is a different question. I'll hold you,
so
Karthik, right now. We cannot go one by one over this live system. And if some of you, because these curiosity is really interesting, but live session is limited, I'd like to take some more questions from the YouTube if there are any. All right, so there seems to be no question. I can take maybe one or two questions if Karthik has, and then we'll wrap this up.
just
Thank you everyone for all your questions. The YouTube. Yeah, Karthik. Yes.
what is quintessential think enlightenment thinker? In Kant, you said about quintessential. I
Come
need to
again.
know what the term quintessential mean. Quintessential thinker, enlightenment thinker in Kant.
Um,
Kant.
enlightenment. I know. Quintessential. Oh, that
Yeah,
the word is adjective.
yeah. The word I
The
need to
word
know
is
what the word
adjective.
mean.
Okay.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's meaning that he's essentially an enlightenment thinker. Enlightenment, the one who believes in the power of knowledge. So you are quintessential a modern person. I am quintessential a conservative person, right? So
Exactly.
quintessential is basically the adjective for someone who is specific to something. And enlightenment, I think I have discussed in Kant what is enlightenment, right? So coming out of your self-imposed immaturity condition where you not just dare to know, but also have the capacity to act upon that knowing, right? That knowledge.
Here also we can able to say that enlightenment is connected with Plato about the fire. You have to come out. Philosopher King means the realm of
Mm.
fire. We see the shadows actually, but
Oh,
to
the
be
simile of
so
Eve.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we can say that every thinker has connected the way in a chain of manner. So and
Yeah.
the last question I have to ask is how to avoid some prejudice when we read about this political thought. For example, in if
Wonderful
a
question. I
term
think.
colonialism comes, we will think up of
Mm.
Indian perspective, like they were aggressors and we were very good people before. After them only we have devastated all of that. But the other coin side, I have to propel, but I can't able to think about naturally. So how to avoid this kind of prejudice when we think about political thought?
Yeah, wonderful question. I think this is, a question which a philosopher can answer better. I'll try. See, the thing is, much of our knowledge, forget about knowledge, what we consider as knowledge is our opinion. And that opinion is unexamined. Today, in today's, what we think is our opinion is not really our. It is through social media and other infodemics where opinions are shaped. There are influencer media 24 into 7, algorithm driven, viral thing. And we just hop on and believe and consider that's my opinion. And worse than that is thinking that opinion is knowledge. Knowledge comes through a hard way. The word education, if you reflect deeply, is a training, the whole enlightenment. I think Kant answered this question if you read that what is of clarum, right? So often we rely upon the information or direction coming from others. We are rational people, but do we use reason all the time while making the decisions? Or we go by what others people say or what others people provide. So in human life, all of us, through our cultural background, social upbringing, carry some biasness or prejudices. Knowledge and education is not just having a respect for other biases or other kind of prejudices. Knowledge comes through education, and education is a process where you eliminate your biases. Some of us, in this era of commercialization, take education in a different way, which enable us to get a job, not necessarily knowledge, right? It is about developing the skill set. Does not necessarily make us a good human or create a good society or even propel us or train us to think about those those issues, because education has been understood or explained in a very different manner than it used to. So only through knowledge, coming to your profound question, you can eliminate your biases. Only when you are ready. When you doubt, skepticism, what you receive, whatever I am telling you right now, you don't have to agree or accept. Without you use your own reason or examination. And only through scrutiny or critical examination, you accept or reject something. Not because you think something is good or you have been told to think something is good. Then you are perpetuating the biases or prejudices. But it's hard to develop, and it comes through a rigorous process. I remember this Sam Maniksa, who used to say, professional knowledge comes hard way in education or in military or in any field, right? So if you take education in that way, it helps you rise above your biases and prejudices. And only when you are not closed like in ideology. मैं तो यही मानता हूँ, that's every right for everyone. But, knowledge go through. You are mute, Karthik, and now I have to end this live session also. So let me see if there is any question. Okay, no more question. Then final thought, and you can reflect on this course also. You have asked so many questions.
Yeah, actually, this course was very interesting, but I just thought that I need to know new dimensions about what is polity, because in engineering we only thought about how the complex life we create from small blocks. But here also, when I think from that perspective, all the political thought or theory has been formulated within a single block. And then in starting point, there were only, if we think human civilization as a train, only one block was there, monarchy. And then comes slowly religionism, then capitalism, businessman, materialistic world, then again sustainable world. So it has become a long train where we can see different ideologies are present. And as the same way, human capacity, the if we see the train as a human, his knowledge and capacity has been increased vastly. And how we will use that knowledge, it depends on the future. So this course helped me to think about the surroundings. In my surroundings, I had both surrounding. For example, I have lived in the northern part of the country, and current I am living in the southern part of the country. So I can see the cultural differences, the festivities which is happening. All they have a reason. Like Ganesh Chaturthi didn't happen before 1930s. After for independence only it started. So we can say that everything.
Karthik, you need to be brief now. You need to be brief. I understand your experience and exposure,
Yeah.
and it's good to learn from them. But what this course intend to do is to introduce you to some of the thinkers, right? They were grappling with some of the similar concern that you are having. For example, Locke essay on tolerance and so on, right? So religious, cultural differences are there, but within those differences, there are a kind of common aspiration or urge also. So through this course, whatever thinkers fascinate you, interest you, and this is just the introductory course. Don't consider it as a kind of advanced course, or it gives you a complete understanding of any thinker. It does not claim so. It gives you a set of thinkers. Even those thinkers are from the same tradition, Western tradition. I'm not introducing you to say Indian political thought or Chinese political thought, or and, and African thought and so on. So thought is much broader than what we do in this course. It has a very limited scope, and within that, it introduces you to some of the thinkers who have profoundly shaped the way we think about politics or political discourse. So that's the limited thing. That if some thinkers fascinates you, you are welcome to. So the thirst or the knowledge is infinite in true sense of the term, if you can think of. Okay, so I'll stop here, Karthik. Last question on YouTube I can see, and then I'll wrap this up. So Pooja is asking, sorry to interrupt you, your discussion, sir. Can you suggest any bridge workshop, course, or internship program that will help me as a postgraduate student to explore and get engaged in my area of interest? Very good question, Pooja. So in many departments, including my own, we have lots of position, not lots of, but as the project comes, option for research assistant, research associate, which is, or even internship, which gives you a first-hand experience of how research is conducted. And that's a very good way of starting your journey towards research. If such opportunity comes to my department, I'll let you know. Usually we post it on the website or even on our social media handle, which you can check regularly. But if it comes to my notice, I'll let you know. All right. So with that, can we conclude this live session? It was wonderful interacting with you, Karthik. Thank you for all the questions.
Thank you.
And for all the other learners who have joined through YouTube, I thank you very much. And there would be one more live session, I guess, before your final exam. So if you have any thoughts or queries, you can join me in the next live session. And meanwhile, also use the discussion forum for clarifying any doubts or queries that you may have. So thank you all. I will see you in the next live session.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.